Hello, my name is Abraham Philipose. I was born in the deep jungles of India. I'm kidding. I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Rep that Tennessee, woo woo. I just want to share a story with you guys today. It's actually my testimony, uh, what I've been through my life, and I hope that it's an encouragement to you guys. I think the stuff that I'm about to share with you guys, majority, if not maybe half, have been through this kind of stuff, and I want to share with you how I've overcome it and where I am now. So, normal family, raised pretty comfortable, pretty good lifestyle. Parents, both parents in the house. But it was around fourth grade I found my parents fighting, and they wouldn't really tell me what was going on. I just heard and I saw them fighting all the time. And when I found out what was actually going on, I found out that my father had cheated on my mom. And you really don't find that a lot in the Indian community. Um, it's kind of rare, but nowadays it's starting to pop up a lot. So, being an Indian in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where there's not that many Indians, it's kind of, it doesn't even happen at all. So I found myself in my house alone by myself. I don't have any siblings, so I really don't have anybody to go and talk to about this. It was really hard, it was very difficult. Fourth grade, rolled into fifth year, my fifth grade year, I found my dad moving out of the house. They didn't get a divorce, but they just separated for a while. They actually separated for a good 2 years, actually. So going from fifth grade into sixth grade, it even got much more difficult because sixth grade was around the time of 9/11, and you guys, if you guys remember 9/11, it was a rough time in our country. It was a time of September 11th being the attacks on the Twin Towers and around the Pentagon, around planes flying around the Pentagon, and me being brown, uh, being in the South, kind of got a little bit bullied here and there, and it was very difficult. I wasn't really able to go to anyone to talk to about these kind of things. I had guys messing around with me, especially football players. Football players mess around with me a lot. They called me Osama bin Laden and, hey, isn't that your dad? All that kind of stuff. And I was just like, man, I really don't need this in my life right now. So I got parents who are split. I got guys who are messing around with bullying me the whole time, and school was starting to get a lot more difficult for me. Even though being Indian, I'm supposed to be smart. Us people are engineers, doctors, lawyers. This Indian, nah, didn't really like school. Still don't. But so I have all these things start adding up. I'm starting to build up a list of all these things that I wasn't really liking. So sixth grade, seventh grade, still kind of dealing with this, and even through the bullying, I was just like, man, this is starting to aggravate me. I gotta do something. I gotta do something. And so because the football players were really big, I wanted to get big, and so I didn't have weights at the house. I didn't have gym membership at that age, and so uh, I got a computer tower. Actually, I took the casing off the computer, and there was a crossbar in the middle of the computer of the tower, and I used that and I started repping. I just started like just working out really hard. just trying to get big as those football players. And it came to a point where I was like, I actually started getting big. I started, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, lifting all this weight. You know, us guys, when we go get groceries from the car, we get all the grocery bags, all of them at the same time because we don't want to go that second time. So I grab all the groceries and I just on the way from the car to the kitchen, I just worked out the whole way there. And so it came to a point where I actually started getting big. And while I was getting big, I started acting like those guys as well. It came to a point where me and those guys, we actually started getting along because I was actually picking fun of other kids. I was messing with them, bullying those kids. Even at the same time as those guys who I was hanging out with, they'd still bully me at the same time. But I still got a little bit of friendship here and there with those guys. So going through all this, and then 8th grade, it goes on, and then high school. High school hits, and actually because of such great friends of my parents and of myself, we have friends that kept in contact with us, and even through the tough times, they actually stuck around with us, and they actually brought my family back together. And because of them, I owe a lot to my parents' friends. They did a lot for me back then. They brought my parents back together. They encouraged us to continue on and just turn over a whole new leaf in our life and just continue on and just go. Forget about the past and just continue on. And so, high school, I loved it. My parents came back together, and I had a new set of friends, and I grew up with those guys. So around the time of it's my senior year, you gotta start figuring out what you want to do because you're about to graduate. And me being Indian, I was like, you know what? I like to help people. I've been through a lot. Being Indian, so I was like, you know what? I think I'll do the medical field. Typical Indian thing to do. Go do the medical thing. And my first year at a University of Tennessee at Chattanooga wasn't so great. Nothing was really going for me. I was just like, man, what's going on? Like, I'm not understanding these things, and nothing's just. I'm trying my hardest to focus in class, and I'm trying to ask myself, like, is this really what I want to do with the rest of my life? And I'm just like, I don't know. So it comes around the time of my second year. I dropped down to now. Now I started going to community college because I didn't know what direction I really wanted to go into, and so I started doing that. But then I got this pretty nice job. I was working at a cell phone company, making bank. Well, to me back in the day, that was making bank. I was on commission and I was on hourly, and so I was making some pretty good commission checks. Average check, I got paid bi-weekly. I was getting paid $800, $900, and it was a lot of money. And so I started skipping class and started to go to work more, and my grades reflected that, and it wasn't really great. And this is around the time of my parents purchased another house, and it got pretty difficult because we had this new house payment and we had the old house payment because it wasn't sold yet. So I see my parents struggling, going through some hard times with money. And so I saw my parents struggle, and I said, you know what, I'm making a lot of money here. I want to give some of my money to my parents. And so my Christmas check, a lot of people buy phones around Christmas time because they want to buy it as gifts. And so my Christmas check, I got about $1,000. And I was just like, you know what? They've taken care of me so far. You know what? I'm gonna take care of them. So I gave that whole check to my parents. And I say all this because I see a lot of kids who go through these rough times in life and they really don't know what the future has on hold for them. I honestly thought at times that, you know what, I'm gonna take my life. I really don't I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. Things are crumbling, things are falling apart in my life, and I don't know if I want to be a part of this world anymore. And I've thought about taking my life, and I've even thought about running away from home. What I mean, even though that wouldn't serve any good, that would have made it even more rough. But I want to motivate you guys to continue on and push on. You know, life goes up and down like a roller coaster. And there are going to be good times and there are going to be some rough times in life. But those rough times will get you prepared for later on in life. It'll be lessons for you later on in life. So I want to encourage you guys to continue on to push, strive, try your hardest, and surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with positive people, because sometimes those people are what going to lift you up when you're down. Because you know what, when they're down, they probably want you to lift them up as well, and they're probably thinking the same thing. I don't know what I want to do. So I want to encourage you guys. Me going through all this stuff, me being able to go through the things that I went through, you guys should be able to get through it as well. And I just want to motivate you guys to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing hard. Thanks.